Good evening and welcome on behalf of the Alabama Department of Environmental Management. My name is Jennifer Youngpeter. I am the designated hearing officer for these proceedings. The role of the hearing officer is limited to ensuring an orderly hearing so that an accurate record of this hearing may be developed for the department's evaluation. I do not make any decisions regarding these proposed permit actions. On behalf of the department, we appreciate your participation in tonight's hearing for the proposed renewal of Title V Major Source Operating Permit number 503-8010 for UOP LLC Mobile Plant located at 1 Lindy Drive, Chickasaw, Alabama 36611. The department would also like to thank the Chickasaw High School principal, Arnold Cox Sr., for allowing us to use the facility for the hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to provide the public with an opportunity to present oral testimony on the proposed permit renewal. In addition to oral testimony, the department will also consider all written comments submitted before the close of the public comment period. The department has requested your comments, and we appreciate you taking the time to make them known to us. On September 16th, 2020, notice of the date, time, place, and purpose of this hearing was posted on the department's website. In addition, the department sent notice of this hearing by email to individuals and organizations who had previously requested advance notice of the permit proceedings. A copy of the notice and the email distribution list will be entered into the record of these proceedings. Copies of the public notice, permit application, and draft permit have been made available for inspection by the public at the office of the department at 1400 Coliseum Boulevard in Montgomery, as well as on the department's website. The hearing is open to the public, and anyone wishing to present oral testimony or submit a written statement may do so. All testimony and written comments should be as factual as possible and should address the subject of this hearing. Lengthy statements or those containing considerable technical or other complex data should be submitted in writing. Summaries of such statements may be presented orally. This hearing is an opportunity for members of the public to offer comments to help ensure that all relevant factors are considered before a final permit decision is made. Please be advised that the department is limited in the factors it can consider when making a permitting decision and must base the determinations only on whether the permit applicant has satisfied those requirements of the applicable environmental statutes and regulations granted to the ADEM by the legislature. Persons giving testimony may be questioned by the hearing officer or other department staff to clarify points and to develop a better understanding of what is being presented. This proceeding tonight is not an open forum as in a question and answer session. This hearing is an opportunity for you to submit comments that you wish the department to consider in the final review of the permit application. However, you may pose a comment in the form of a question, which will be compiled and addressed by the department in its complete response to comments. In addition to oral testimony, written comments may be submitted on the proposed permit renewal. You do not have to make an oral statement tonight in order to have your written comments considered by the department. Written statements may be submitted to the hearing officer tonight or delivered to the department in Montgomery as directed in the public notice for this hearing. All written statements previously submitted and those received by the department before the end of the public comment period will be included in the hearing record. It is important to note that written comments submitted through postal or electronic mail are given the same consideration as those that are presented in person at this hearing. All oral and written testimony will be included in the hearing record. After giving full consideration to the hearing record, the department will make its final decision on the proposed permit action and develop responses to comments for the proposed permit. The hearing record, final permit determination, and responses to comments will be posted to the department's e-file system. This hearing is being captured by a court reporter to develop a transcript for this hearing for the review by the department. In addition, the entire proceeding is being recorded on video to be posted on the department's YouTube channel to make it accessible to the public. Now let us move on to the purpose of this hearing, the receipt of public comments. The order of appearance of persons giving testimony will be as follows. First, a representative of the department's air division. Then, any elected officials or their representative who have registered to speak. All remaining members of the public will be heard in the order in which they are registered, during the pre-registration offered online or by phone, and then those that registered on site at this hearing. I will now recognize Ms. Stephanie Childress to present a statement on behalf of the department's air division.
Good evening. My name is Stephanie Childress, and I'm with the Air Division of the Alabama Department of Environmental Management. I'm here to present a statement on behalf of the department concerning the proposed renewal of UOP LLC Major Source Operating Permit number 5038010. The department exercises authority under the Alabama Air Pollution Control Act and the Alabama Environmental Management Act to administer and enforce Alabama's air pollution control regulations. The department also has the authority to implement federal air pollution control regulations. The department is proposing to issue a renewal of UOP LLC's Major Source Operating Permit number 5038010. UOP LLC Mobile Plant is a facility that produces synthetic materials to be used as absorbents and/or catalysts in various manufacturing applications. The facility is currently classified as a major source for criteria pollutants. This proposed permit does not authorize any increased air emissions or new emission sources. It is intended to codify all the air pollution control requirements which apply to the facility. The proposed renewal permit addresses all changes that have occurred at the facility since the last issuance date, including regulatory updates and incorporating any sources currently operating under air permits. The department has addressed these changes in the statement of basis and the proposed renewal Major Source Operating Permit number 5038010, made available to the public on July 6, 2020, as required by Title V of the Clean Air Act. A Major Source Operating Permit is intended to consolidate existing air pollution control requirements and does not authorize new sources of pollution or increase in emissions from existing sources. Compliance with the requirements of this permit will not result in violations of applicable air quality standards that were designed to protect human health and the environment. Before a decision is made on whether Major Source Operating Permit number 5038010 is to be issued, the department will review and respond as necessary to the written comments received during the public comment period and the comments submitted during this hearing. Thank you.
I understand that a representative from UOP is here to give a statement. I now recognize Robert Gibbon, Plant Manager, to present a statement on behalf of UOP. Hi, please state your name and title for the record.
Robert Gibbon, Plant Manager, Honeywell UOP.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Right. Good evening. My name is Robert Gibbon. I'm the site leader of the Honeywell UOP facility located in Chickasaw, Alabama. I'm here tonight to present a statement on behalf of the plant regarding our Title V air permit. The UOP plant in Chickasaw has been in operation since 1965. For the past 55 years, the site has provided thousands of jobs to local community members that allow them to provide for their families, for themselves, and to contribute back to the community. In addition, the Chickasaw plant has always strived to be a good neighbor and a corporate citizen. As part of our efforts to be a good neighbor and corporate citizen, we are committed to being a responsible steward of the environment and complying with the environmental laws and permits of local, state, and federal regulatory agencies. One of these permits is our air permit. The UOP plant has a long history of compliance with our air permit, and now we are seeking to renew it as required by the law. The permit renewal will not increase the plant emissions, nor will it change the nature of the plant emissions. It will simply allow us to continue to operate as we have in the past, in a manner that is protective of the environment, provides quality jobs for the community, and provides support for our neighborhood organizations. I am proud to be a member of the community. The UOP plant in Chickasaw will continue to strive to be a good neighbor in our community and is open to feedback from the community at all times. We look forward to many more years of operation and providing jobs to those living in the surrounding areas while being good stewards of the environment. Thank you.
Kevin, you can take it.
Okay. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will now proceed to the receipt of public comments from elected officials. First, I recognize Barry Broadhead, Mayor-elect of Chickasaw, Alabama.
Sure. Stand here.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Please step up to the microphone, clearly restate your name and the office that you hold, and you can take your mask off if you're more
Okay,
comfortable.
thank you. My name is Barry Broadhead. I'm a city councilman and mayor-elect for the city of Chickasaw.
Okay, go ahead.
My remarks will be very brief. I'm here to express my opinion of support of the Honeywell UOP facility located in Chickasaw, Alabama, renewal application for its Title V air permit. The current renewal application does not propose an increase in emissions, nor does it propose a change to the types of air emissions from the facility. The site has operated at its current locations for 55 years and has a long history of compliance with the elements of Title V, nearly as old as Chickasaw itself. During the past 55 years, the site has been a source of stable employment for the local population and has a positive economic impact here for the city of Chickasaw and the surrounding communities. The site has been historically a good neighbor and a good corporate citizen, and they have every intention of building on this positive reputation in the years to come. I have worked with several individuals very closely from this facility, and I speak from practical experience. So that concludes my remarks.
Thank you.
Right.
Just want to step out.
Okay.
We will now proceed to the receipt of comments from members of the public. As indicated in the public notice for this hearing, oral testimony for each registered speaker is limited to 7 minutes. If anyone has prepared a statement that cannot be presented in a 7-minute time frame, please use your time for oral testimony to summarize your comments and submit your full statement to the department in writing for placement in the record. I will ask anyone who approaches the 7-minute period to wrap up quickly. Please step up to the microphone and clearly state your name and the name of any interest or organization that you represent. You may take off your mask.
Okay, thank you. I'm Joe Whitlock. I work for UOP Honeywell here in Chickasaw. I'll read you my statement. If you have anything else you need to say. All right, I've been employed with UOP in Chickasaw for 29 years in various roles within the operations department. And most recently, I've changed to the health and safety and environmental department. During these last 29 years, UOP has given me the opportunity to live in the neighboring community of Saraland and provide for my wife and children. I feel that UOP cares for its neighbors as exhibited by the Hometown Solutions Program, which provides funding and volunteers from the plant to complete community improvement projects in the Chickasaw area. The plant also strives to meet or exceed its regulatory requirements as set forth by its various permits. While no place of employment is perfect, UOP focuses on doing what's right and moves quickly to address any issues once they are recognized. And so I look forward to continuing my career at the UOP facility. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
please step up to the microphone, clearly state your name and the name of any interest or organization that you represent. You may take off your mask if you want.
Ramsey Sprague, the Mobile, I'm the president of the Mobile Environmental Justice Action Coalition. Shall I begin?
Go ahead.
So the Mobile Environmental Justice Action Coalition was formed 7 years ago by Africatown residents in response to a major influx of industrial activity surrounding a large vacant lot. We spent many years developing relationships. I spent many years developing relationships with the community that have resulted in just y'all are probably familiar with what's happening with the Clotilda slave ship discovery and the impact that that's having on the community and the interest in the community. And we've been fighting very hard for the integrity of the Africatown neighborhood plan itself, which calls for greater accountability for industrial pollution in the area and generally a deindustrialization of the area where there isn't industry already. It's in that vein that we've been raising that we have concerns about this UOP permit renewal as a major source and one of the largest, if not the largest, emitter in toxic release inventory in the entire Africatown planning area, which is an area of geographic expanse that's defined by the city of Mobile to stretch to cover almost the entirety of the UOP chemical refinery itself, the entire footprint of the plant, except for an address immediately over the railroad tracks there, which places it in Chickasaw on the mail. But the body of it is actually in the city of Mobile. So it's in that nature that in our discussions with the community members, we're very concerned over some of the discrepancies and the lack of monitoring, especially in the permit itself. So just to tick off some of these, I'll preface with saying that about the Africatown community. Last year, or 2 years ago, I should say, the Camira chemical refinery had a disaster that resulted in the evacuation of the Chickasaw community that is on the fence line of the north end of the UOP facility. When the community was evacuated in the middle of the day, the work day, the disaster response was a total farce, unfortunately. I have really warm relationships with our local EMS. I work with them through the NAACP. I'm also the environmental chair of the Mobile branch NAACP. We've been in conversation with them for many years, really, about hurricane preparedness and trying to get ahead of chemical emergencies. And the chemical emergency that forced the evacuation of that Chickasaw neighborhood directly to the north of the UOP facility, when they were evacuated, in my interviews with the residents there the day of, as they were returning home after the evacuation, they all thought it was UOP. They told me how often they dealt with noxious odors, how often that affected their ability to have family over. Their grandchildren with asthma could not reliably visit them because the fumes that would come over from UOP would be so overwhelming and triggering to their children that they didn't feel it was safe, or the grandchildren. You had people that complained of chronic headaches, nosebleeds, respiratory issues, and skin lesions that they all attributed to when they would say that, yes, there's a flare or there's a particular noxious odor that's coming across the fence line into our community. We feel this way in response. This is how our body reacts. Whether or not that's true, the fact that they're dealing with noxious odors on a regular basis is a very severe concern for our agency. Looking at the permit, it's clear that UOP, that the permit, if as it's written, the application would not provide for any facility-based monitoring whatsoever aside from visual inspection and standard OSHA compliance. That to me is, and to our agency, is inadequate We feel that there needs to be fence line, at least fence line monitoring, particularly on the north side of the facility that is directly along these homes. It's residential properties that line the north side of the fence. But facility-based monitors need to be implemented for the purposes of not just the neighbors, but also for the workers present. We also have concern with what appears to be a permit shield, which is not mentioned in the statement of basis. Thank you. It appears that ADEM has both misapplied an applicable requirement and has made mistakes in deciding certain requirements just simply don't apply to UOP. And it's critical that these errors are corrected because the permit shields UOP from actual enforcement, this is my understanding. And that's, of course, a major issue. There's also issues with the fugitive dust provisions in the permit itself, in that they're not specific to UOP at all. They appear to be thus not enforceable at all. So that needs to be revised by ADEM with respect to the permit itself. It's also really concerning to us that UOP is being allowed to use the most outdated and least preferred method for determining the facility's potential to emit. The EPA counsels on using AP-42 emission factors, what UOP used throughout the permit application as a last resort. They need to be doing a lot better than they're doing in terms of both monitoring, in terms of both estimating and protecting the community from their emissions. Thank you.
Thank you. Please step up to the microphone and clearly state your name and any interest or organization you represent. Let me take off your mask.
Thank you. My name is David Rogers. I am here representing the Mobile Area Chamber of Commerce. I serve as the Vice President of Economic Development at the Mobile Area Chamber of Commerce. We are the lead economic development agency for the city and the county of Mobile and the surrounding areas. We recruit industrial companies to locate here that are providing high-paying jobs to our community and great investment for us as well. Here tonight, on behalf of the 2,000 plus members that we represent, to fully support this approval of this renewal of an air permit for Honeywell UOP here in Mobile. I will tell you, this operation here is the third largest chemical company that we have in our community, with 26 chemical companies in our area. And it's great that they are such a large part because they're part of our community. They support hundreds of high-paying jobs, support hundreds of millions of dollars worth of investment in our community, and they're great corporate citizens. They're constantly involved in nonprofits around the area. They're always at the table, as you can see tonight, with the support that I know that the mayor of Chickasaw has been here, the principal of this high school has been here. They're tied to this community because many of their employees live right here in the city of Chickasaw. So we're in full support of this project. We understand this is just a renewal to keep their operations current. We fully support that. There is currently no new investment for this or no new permit. So we fully intend to hopefully see that this permit will go through for them and that will keep these hundreds of high-paying jobs right here in our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
step up to the microphone and clearly state your name and the name of an interest or organization that you represent.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Denson. I'm the Executive Director with Partners for Environmental Progress. PEP is a local nonprofit organization of business leaders who share the vision of applying best practices environmentally to community and business issues. Our members support strong economic growth balanced with sound environmental stewardship. PEP's 220 member companies represent large and small manufacturers, shipbuilders, engineering firms, and industrial suppliers with support services. Our members include Evonik, Airbus, Austal, just to name a few, and all together employ more than 22,000 citizens. PEP members routinely go above and beyond government regulations and compliance to implement innovative projects to reduce their carbon footprint and protect and conserve the local natural resources that make the Alabama Gulf Coast a wonderful place to live. PEP strongly supports ADEM renewing UOP Mobile Plant's Title V Major Source Operating Permit for the following reasons. First, UOP is complying with the requirements under the Alabama Air Pollution Control Act and the Alabama Environmental Management Act to submit a renewal of its Title V permit every 5 years. This renewal application does not propose an increase in emissions nor a change to the types of air emissions from the facility. This site has operated in Chickasaw for the past 55 years and has a long history of compliance with its Title V permit. UOP has proven itself to be a strong steward of the Alabama Gulf Coast environment. UOP has been a member of PEP since 2006. The facility was an active member of Phase 2 of PEP's byproduct synergy program that matched byproducts and input material streams between companies to avoid disposing of the materials as a waste. And in 2016, PEP named UOP as a recipient of PEP's Environmental Stewardship Awards in recognition for their aggressive solid waste recycling program targeting discarded wooden pallets, cardboard, and super sacks. For these reasons, PEP supports ADEM's renewal of UOP's Title V permit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Please step up to the microphone and clearly state your
How's
name
everybody tonight?
and any interest or organization you're
I'm
affiliated
taking
with.
this off if you don't mind for me to speak.
Yeah, that's fine.
Everything being recorded?
Yes, so please state your name and any organization you're associated with.
Okay. I'm Robert McFall. I'm president of the local Chamber of Commerce. I'm also a member of the UOP Community Action Panel. I worked for the Air Force 38 and a half years, so I'm familiar with compliance.
Whenever you're ready.
I've got my pages backwards here. I just made a few notes to talk about. We're a small community here. We're only about 6,000 people. We all fit into 4.5 square miles here. We have our own school system. And we're a very historic community here. UOP has been an outstanding asset to the Chickasaw community. They've been a board member with their chamber for over 15 years with us. They actively pursue citizens to become part of their community action program. It's a very nice presentation they give us each quarter. The workforce has about 230 people, and 30% of those people reside in either Pritchard, Chickasaw, Saraland, or Satsuma, which greatly has an impact on our economic here in our local community. They purchase food, of course, from our restaurants. They buy gasoline, and then they shop at our local retail operations here in Chickasaw too. UOP has been very supportive of our Chickasaw community. They provided manpower and resources to replace the roof on our community pool house. They conducted a coat and tie drive. Our first year in our high school, our seniors here, in our school here, most of our kids are at or below the poverty level here. So they conducted a coat and tie drive so that our seniors, men, would have coats and ties to wear to their first prom. They donated equipment to the school for their science and computer labs. Annually, they donate protective equipment. We only have one fire station here, and they annually donate protective equipment to our firemen over there. They repaired the tennis courts, the fence around our tennis courts, and they cleaned up and made repairs to around our outdoor amphitheater here. Most recently, after Hurricane Sally, we discovered, which I don't know why they didn't know this, our fire station did not have a generator hooked up to it. So Honeywell graciously offered to help fund and install a generator to our fire station so our firemen don't have to go somewhere else to spend the night. During their 55-year tenure with our city, we appreciate the generosity and supportiveness from UOP. Most importantly, we appreciate their dedication to the safety of their employees and attention to detail in the environmental concerns affecting our community. We're not aware of any violations of Title V air permits elements, and we support the renewal of their permit for this year. Any questions? So this thing's going pretty quick tonight, huh? I just live right around the corner. I thought if I left at 6:15, I'd be here in plenty of time. So, thank you all for coming. I'm now a member of your website, and I'll be keeping up with what you guys are doing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good night.
take a brief 7-minute break and resume promptly at 6:55 p.m. We're back from our break with one more registered speaker.
Okay, no problem.
Please step up to the microphone and clearly state your name and any organization that you're affiliated with. And if you'd like to remove your mask, you may do so.
Okay. Michael Chambliss, Southern Onyx Incorporated, here in Chickasaw.
Okay, go ahead.
So as I said, I'm Michael Chambliss, plant manager of the Southern Onyx facility. UOP is a pipeline customer of ours. The plant was brought here to Chickasaw for UOP back in 1995. I've been with the facility since 2007. The Honeywell UOP facilities are less than 3/4 of a mile from us. We're to the northeast. Never had any issues with them being our neighbor. Got a lot of relationships with the people there. A lot of great working relationships. Good customer of our company. We're also involved with the Chickasaw Chamber of Commerce here locally, and UOP has always had a representative in that group. John Purvis has been their treasurer for probably close to 10 years now on the board, so UOP allows him to volunteer his time to serve the community. I know that UOP hosts community advisory panel meetings with their facility. Honeywell has their hometown solutions outreach, and they've done some work at the Civic Center, Library, Park area probably 2 years ago now. So in my time since 2007, they've always been a great part of the neighborhood here in the community of Chickasaw. That's really all I have. Nothing bad to say. They've been a great relationship in business and personal.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Since there are no more registered speakers, please be advised that unless otherwise notified, the public comment period will end at 5 p.m. on October 27th, 2020. All comments must be received at the office of the department in Montgomery by that time. After consideration of all oral and written comments, the department will make its determination regarding the proposed permit renewal and prepare responses to all relevant comments received. Thank you for your participation this evening. This hearing is adjourned.